of the April 1st Greater Hilltop Area Commission. There it goes. I'm gonna ask the Secretary Joe Ardro to call the roll.
Okay, start with Chair White,
Here.
Vice Chair Montana,
Here.
Treasurer Smith. Here. Secretary is present, and we'll start to my left with Commissioners Carr.
Here.
Maddox. Here. McKee,
Here.
Neal,
Present.
Howard,
Here.
Kepler,
Here.
Barkus.
Here.
Ruth. Here. Fagan.
Here.
Currently absent, Commissioner Bates and Cornmeck.
Moving on to additions, deletions of the agenda. Does somebody have anything? Okay, I will say that Mid Ohio Food Collective, Deborah Diggs, so she was not able to attend tonight, so she's rescheduling for May. All right, moving on, I'm gonna call for the approval of the March meeting minutes. A second.
Second.
And are there any corrections to the March minutes?
Oh, yeah, sorry. I did not receive them.
Seeing none, can we just get a aye vote to approve those? All those in favor?
Favor.
Aye.
Yeah, opposed or abstentions? Seeing none, the March minutes are approved. Moving on to City of Columbus staff reports. Do not see Officer Cody here tonight. Is anybody here from CPD? City Attorney's Office. City Council Division of Community Engagement, Jocelyn Martinez Cortez. Running light tonight. Hopefully it's not April Fool's joke. Department of Neighborhood, OBCA. Sorry, Kevin.
Evening, Commissioners, I just want to put on the record that I love you guys. That's why I'm here. No, I'm kidding. No, not April Fools, but I don't have very many announcements for you today, other than Parks and Rec is currently in the process of forming their 10-year vision plan called Playbook Columbus. And they are seeking 2 representatives from each area commission and major civic across the city to participate in a small group. It's called a meeting in a box training, just to enable the commissions to be able to host small group focus group sessions, just to share ideas and be able to discuss their visions for the parks in their community within the next 10 years. So I would like to invite you guys to send 2 representatives to that meeting. I did forward that official invitation to Chair White, and any 2 representatives from the commission that would like to attend. They do ask that you RSVP by the 21st, and the training is set for the 29th. And second, Parks and Rec also just announced their Cap City Festival schedule for this year. And they will be holding their West Side Festival on October 24th, and that will be at Westgate Park. They are looking for volunteers, so if you're interested, look out for the upcoming West Side Bulletin. I will include the link to register for that. And there will be opportunities to volunteer for other events throughout the summer as well. That's it. Unless anyone, oh, no, the most important thing. Healthy Homes, Healthy Families, in partnership with Envision Hilltop is launching their Hilltop Home Repair Program. So they're currently looking for homeowners within the South Hilltop area. If anyone needs a flyer, I'm more than happy to send that out electronically. Right now, the boundaries, it looks like it's Sullivan, Clarendon, and Westmount going up to Central. So if you are a homeowner within those bounds and you meet the income requirements, you're eligible for exterior home repair, I think up to $30,000. So if anyone would like any more information, please feel free to either contact Nick Plow or Guadalupe Alvarez with Nationwide Children's Healthy Homes Program, and they will offer more information. And once again, I will also include that flyer in the next West Side Bulletin, which hopefully will be going out tomorrow. So that is all I have. Any questions for me?
Not a question, but the flyer for the Healthy Homes program is over there on the table. Brandon's been holding it.
Great. It's wonderful. Thank you so much.
Yep.
Any other questions for me? All right, thank you so much. That's all I have.
Thank you, OBC. Next, Kevin Orr from Department of Neighborhoods, speaking on behalf of Envision Hilltop.
Yes, everyone, my name is Kevin Orr. I'm the, you muted? Miles, can you hear me? Oh, you did, okay. Hi, everybody. I am Kevin Orr. I'm the pastor of Glenwood United Methodist Church and also serve as the co-convener of the Envision Hilltop Implementation Task Force. For those of you that are here this evening who are not aware of what the Envision Hilltop plan is, it's a community plan that was facilitated by the Department of Neighborhoods with lots of key feedback from many, many residents and people that call the Hilltop home. The plan was launched in 2020, and we're continuing the process of implementing that plan. I want to give you an update and announce an event that's coming up. Last week, we had our quarterly task force meeting here, and it was very well attended and a lot of incredible information was shared. We heard a presentation from Zach Sunderland and Brian Ashworth about the West Broad Street BRT update, which was very interesting. We had Lupita Alvarez share about the Healthy Homes Hilltop Home Repair Program that Luisi just mentioned. And then we had Danny Peterson report from Hilltop Rise about some updates on their investment in the bank block and some partnerships that they're developing, which was very informative. And then we had a wonderful presentation from Scott Carr, who is with the Highland West Civic Association, about the Highland West Community Empowerment Series that they have started. Every other month, they have a discussion that's on various topics. The first one was a few weeks ago. So it was wonderful to see a grassroots organization right here on the Hilltop doing something like that, bringing the community together. So we really celebrate that. And then we heard some updates from the 3 subcommittee chairs. So it was a very, very informative meeting, and there was some good conversation, some dialogue, some very important connections that were made. So it was fantastic. Our next meeting will be taking place in June. The other thing I want to share with everybody is that we're going to be having a community event on April the 23rd from 5 to 7 at the Mid-Ohio Farm. This is an opportunity for the community to have a town hall. There will be a few remarks given by some of our elected officials. The Mid-Ohio Food Collective will have an opportunity to talk a little bit about the Mid-Ohio Farm, which is an incredible asset that we have here on the Hilltop. Then we're going to have an update again from the BRT, and also an update on the process with the construction of the new substation for precinct 19. And then there'll be an opportunity to eat. Food is provided. And then after that, there will be opportunities to mingle with various community partners that are tied to the Envision Hilltop plan. So you can get engaged, ask questions, give feedback and all of that. So it's going to be a very, very good event. We got it capped at 100. I have flyers there on that table where there is a QR code that you can scan to reserve your spot. The food's being provided by Casa Carmelitas. And like I said, it's a limit of 100. So I'd encourage you all to come to that if you can, and please share it, particularly with folks who live in the Envision Hilltop Plan area, which is basically the Highland West neighborhood. So that is all I have. Y'all have any questions I can try to answer?
What time was that event?
It is from 5 to 7. Yeah. the chit chat and remarks will be brief, so we can maximize the time to mingle at the partner tables. So, all right. All right, if you ever need any updates on what's going on, or if you want to read the plan, simply go to envisionhilltop.com. That's your go-to source. Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you. That's Mike. Yeah.
Got this one. Oh, sure.
If you want to swap it out for, thanks. All right, up next, we have Hilltop Rise, Danny Peterson. Did you have any updates? Okay, awesome. Well, I appreciate you coming out as always. Thank you to all of our City of Columbus officials and community partners for speaking and all that you do for our community. And with that, like I said, we don't have any presentations for tonight. We're gonna move on to officer reports. The only thing I have right now that's been going around in my orbit is the police substation. Dean Smith did leave this up and sent out an email to some city officials. I did have a phone call with one of them as in regards to where the process is at this time. As of today, the bids were all due to the city of Columbus. They told me that they're expecting a groundbreaking ceremony in late May. So that's currently, as of right now, the update that I have. Did you want to speak to that, Alex?
I don't want to speak to that specifically, but I was here to give an update about zone and.
Yes, so you're actually like grouped in with our zoning presentation, so we'll get through the first two zoning and then you.
Okay,
Yeah,
sorry, just want to make sure. Thank you.
Yeah, no, you're good. Moving on to Vice Chair Ashley Montana, do you have any updates? or reports?
Nothing to report, but we did skip the announcement section.
Oh, so sorry. Let's get through these real quick and then I'll go back to it. Secretary Joe Argiro.
Thank you. Just the quarterly attendance report. All commissioners are currently in good standing with attendance per our bylaws.
Thanks. Dean Smith, do you have anything?
Yes, Chair, thank you. Just some updates for our membership. So this is the last meeting for our current budget cycle. Expenditures are due to OABC by April 10th. So if you have anything to spend, make sure you spend it by that point. Last meeting, we encumbered 500 for subscriptions, 350 for audio systems, 200 for storage totes, 300 for the commission spirit shop, and up to 75 for postage. So if your committee is the one that put that out there to spend, make sure you get it done before 4/10. And I'm also gonna send an email out soon to inventory all GHAC owned property. So I know there's some things floating around there that have been like over the years, like we've purchased. I just want to take like inventory of that, so we know where like everything is. And then there's some points from the fiscal training that Commissioner Barkus and I attended. I'll send an email out for that as well. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. And then just to echo that, if you've not used your promo codes for the apparel, I'm gonna put a list together tonight of all the invoices I did receive and try to email everybody who has not used them yet. See, moving back up to announcements. Do any commissioners have any announcements? Yeah, Jeff?
Okay, thank you, Chair. I have two announcements. The first is that there are upcoming spring and summer programmings for anyone interested in gardening and who has young ones at home. Highland Youth Garden has the Green Teams program, which is a paid summer work program in the garden. Deadline for that is coming up on April 11th. The Spring Garden Club begins next week, and the summer camp is let's see, ages 6 through 13 from 9 to 3:30 Monday through Friday for weeks in June and July. You can see their information at highlandyouthgarden.org. And then the second thing is there is a school board candidate forum tomorrow, partly hosted by Ohio Organizing Collaborative and Safe Green Schools. It will be held at the First Unitarian Church of Columbus at 93 West Weisheimer Road, 43214. This is an opportunity to hear from most of the city council candidates, city school board candidates. Did this just go out?
Yep.
Okay. City school board candidates, and there will be food provided. So if anyone is interested, you can register via the Ohio Organizing Collaborative. Sorry, I don't have it directly open in front of me. At
It's OHorganizing.org.
yes, thank you.
Any other commissioners have any announcements? Anybody in the community? Kevin?
Two quick ones. Thank you. Is this on? Just a couple of really quick ones. First, Glenwood United Methodist Church, in partnership with the Hilltop YMCA, is having a community blood drive next Wednesday from 11 to 5 p.m. at the Hilltop Y in the gym. They will take walk-ins, but it's recommended that you can reserve your spot. It's good for everybody. Information about that is actually in the Hilltop USA newsletter, stacked there to get that connection. Also, I believe it's Columbus Public Health is going to be having a community health fair here at the library on that same Wednesday, next Wednesday from 4:30 to 7:30. And so the whole community is invited to come and attend that community health fair.
Hey, yes. Sorry, you could not announce yourself, but just so you could who you are.
Lee Cole from Columbus City Schools. On May 10th, we have Ready for Summer Rally at Westgate Elementary. It's a community event outside. We have community partners, DJs, rides, and it's a fun festivity. This is our third annual at Westgate Elementary School, right in the park and playground area. And then on August 16th, for Ready for Summer, that's from 9 to 2. And then on August 16th at Fort Hays Metropolitan Education Center, we have our big back to school fair, and that is from 10 to 1. You can expect an invite from my shop, which is the Office of Engagement. We'd love to have our area commissions out with their area commission paraphernalia to show the community who you are and what you do. On average, last year we had over 12,000 people attend, the year before 10. So you can expect an invite for us, and we hope to see you there.
Thank you so much. Does anybody else have any announcements? So moving on to reports of committees. So we're gonna get into zoning. Nick Bates said he was not able to attend tonight, so we're gonna turn over to Dan Bacon.
Good evening, everybody. Want to give a report on the zoning committee that met on March 26th at 6:30 p.m. here at the library. We started out with a couple applications that we're going to be reviewing tonight. Also, Alex Sauersmith, senior planner from the city of Columbus, is here tonight. Give us an update on the zoning Columbus project and what the next couple of phases are going to be looking like. Excuse me. We did review two applications. And I'm going to talk about them both together because they're very similar in what they're being requested. The first is a graphics commission application. It's GC 25-016. And the second is also a graphics commission application, GC 25-009. The addresses are 179 South Powell Avenue. And then this one that's showing here, 172555 Briggs Road. These are the addresses of two of the high schools here. One is West High School and one is Briggs High School. So the first application is going to be presented as a 179 South Powell Avenue. There's there's a request for 3 variances that came with this application. The first is to increase the number of banners. So these are signs that where you're going to hear more about from Lee Cole. She's the Executive Director of Community Engagement and Partnerships of the City of Columbus. City Schools will be reviewing these applications. But the first is variance that we were asked to review was to increase the number of banners from 1 to 4. The four banners will be on the light poles that are along South Powell Avenue. These would be permanent signs. Lee's going to tell us more about that. The second is to increase the display time for a banner from 30 days to indefinitely. And the third is to increase the graphic area from 16 square feet for banners to 40 square feet, which would be the total square footage for all the banners. So the variances for 2555 Briggs Road, pretty similar. To increase the number of banners from 1 to 3, to increase the display times for the banners from 30 days to indefinitely, and increase the graphic area from 16 square feet to 36 square feet, which would be the total square footage of all the banners. Would you be willing to come up and give us a presentation as you did to the committee? The committee did vote. There were 4 of us in attendance, all in favor of approving both of these applications to move them forward with the vote of approval. So.
Good evening. Once again, my name is Lee Cole. I'm the Executive Director of Community Engagement and Partnerships for Columbus City Schools. And I'm excited to present to you today our Legacy Lights initiative. Legacy Lights places banners outside of all of our district high schools, and it's an opportunity to not only showcase what's going on in our high schools, but to celebrate what's going on in the community and also connect with the community at large. So whether you have a child or a student in Columbus City Schools, whether you're alumni or you're simply visiting the West Side and you're driving down the street, you can immediately see, once you pass West High School, the excellence that's going on in the high school. So in your packet on the decorative light post right at the entrance of West High School, we propose to put 4 banners on those 4 light posts outside of that school. Every 3 years, because the average life cycle of the vinyl banners is between 3 to 5 years. So every 3 to 5 years, we'll revisit the banners, whether, and there's 4 packets on the table, anyone would like to look at those as well. We will update the messaging if there's any accolades, whether academic or athletic, that the school wants to put out, whether the students or the principal, we will then update those on a regular wear and tear cycle. If anything happens with the banners, we will replace them. Those are much easier to replace than the ones that will be at break, since they are the actual utility poles. We can get on a ladder and change those out rather quickly. But that messaging will change about every 3 to 5 years to whatever the students and the principal of the school would like those to be. So the main goal of this, again, initiative is to celebrate what's going on in the building and connect with the community at large who are visiting the area, so they're able to see and we're able to showcase what's going on in our building. The Briggs location is quite similar, where it is the banners will be placed on the light poles at that location as well. The only difference is those are the large utility poles and not the decorative poles that are in front of the west property. So those banners are 2 feet by 72 inches, while the West High banners are 5 feet. And that is the location at the Briggs at Briggs High School. The reason why they're not the light poles on the street is because, according to the city code, you can only have the banners on metal poles, and most of the poles that are within the inner circle within 270, they're all wooden poles. The original proposal was to have them on the wooden poles as you're driving down the street. That application, we had to adjust and revisit and then put them directly on the campus. And now they are on the decorative light poles and the metal poles. The banners will be up as long as the building is up and utilized. And I really look forward to having this this is my love language here to the community. I lived off of South Huron, so I'm really excited to have these up and welcome any questions. Once approved, if we can get that approval this week, we can get it onto the graphics commission. Our goal is to begin installation in May at 7 of our buildings, so the seniors can have an event and invite the community for the unveiling of the,
So Brendan Vargas, Commissioner Vargas, question?
Thank you so much for being here. I'll just try to talk loudly so that the individuals streaming can listen in. Or not. Thank you for being here. I do have a question regarding funding on this program. So as I understand it, it is 614 grant monies that are for the initial installation. After 3 to 5 years, the Columbus City Schools will mark it in the budget and the upkeep will be continued by Columbus City Schools. Is that correct?
yes, that is correct. The bulk of the funding from the 614 grant is actually paying for the permits and the initial putting the banners up. So the bulk of the funding is the cost for the permits itself and the mounting brackets. After that point, replacing the signage is simply labor to go up to actually replace the signs and then print the actual banners, which isn't cost prohibitive at all. The biggest expense is the permitting process itself and the mounting brackets.
Okay, that's very helpful. Thank you. I'm proud Columbus City Schools graduate, very, very supportive. There's no additional cost for re-permitting at any point down the line. And if so, how far out would that be?
That would be up to the city.
Okay.
Right now, we've been told one time
Okay,
and it's indefinite. So if something changes.
those are all my questions. Thank you.
Thank you.
Awesome. Does any other commissioners have any questions? I do have a question as it relates to the feedback that you received from the city as it relates to telling you they didn't want to see the banners on the wooden poles along bricks. Did they give you any specific verbiage as to why?
The permitting process doesn't allow the metal brackets to adhere to wood poles, and that was a decision across the city. So we sent in the application for all of our high schools, and only 4 high schools actually have metal poles.
Okay, thank you. And then follow-up question, as we have a general discussion and debate about the BRT stuff that's going on West Broad, do you believe that the Legacy Lights or Columbus City Schools has any want or desire to possibly have banners along West Broad? I know I don't typically drive through Westgate, but I do go down Briggs. And we did have these banners at my high school, at my community college. They're very empowering to see, especially fellow colleagues and accolades being honored. So with, like I said, Columbus City Schools or Legacy Lights have any initiative to be wanting to display on West Broad?
That's something I hadn't thought of. That's something we could talk about. We only thought of having the street immediately in front of our high schools. So we don't have we can't do every school, but that would be something to discuss. I think it would be a wonderful idea. I know quite up broad, the Coast Side has a banner program, and then Franklinton has a banner program. So the area commission can initiate a banner program along the roads. And I'd be happy to work with you to help facilitate that.
Yes, absolutely. I know in the past, other area commissions, other civic associations, the area commission, and now with the discussions of the BRT is wanted to have banners along West Broad. And I feel like this initiative would be a step in the right direction of actually identifying what those banners should have on them. Again, recognizing our vast collective of schools in our community, recognizing our businesses, I think is a great way to kind of uplift our main corridor. So with that, that's all my questions. I'm gonna turn back over to Dan.
Great. Want to check in with rest of the commissioners. Is there any other comments or questions about either or both of these applications? Just a comment, during your presentation at our committee meeting, it was really nice to hear that you're engaging with students on the design of these banners. If you covered that, I apologize, but that was a really great to hear and learned a lot about that through your presentation. Are you prepared to talk about mascots at all? Are you willing and able to do that? I thought this was fascinating. I think it's something we should talk about.
So for, some of our high school only have, verbiage. For example, Briggs, some of our high schools have legal mascots that are trademarked to Columbus City Schools. So we're going through the process of having legal official mascots for all of our buildings, starting with elementary. So, you'll see on some of the banners, over the years, principals and some administrators and their passion projects have updated some of our logos. But now that we're putting them on the outside of buildings, they have to be official trademark mascots. So some that kind of resemble football, other schools and locations, they do not have their mascots on the banner. They only have the words. But as we continue with that process, those mascots are legally trademarked, then those banners will be up.
Great, thank you.
And I'm sure the community will be involved in any high school mascot. Not myself.
Anybody in attendance that have any questions or comments about the applications?
Sure, Megan. I do have one question, if that's okay. Thanks again for the presentation. I know that different banners are different sizes. And with the graphics that are used, perhaps they might have different costs then associated with them. Do you happen, and this can be something we could just talk about offline too, if this is not readily available, but like a with 2 by, what was it, 2 by 24 by
60,
60? Do you know what that would cost?
I believe that's roughly about $262.
262 for a 2 by 60, and what was the other size?
I think that's roughly about 300.
4 by 8.
No,
sorry,
the
that's-
4 by 8, those are completely different, but
Yeah.
once. The difference
The
between
24.
the large 4 by 8s that are attached to the building do not have a sew-in pocket. So those are actually less expensive than the pole mounted ones because there's the extra step of having to stitch a sew-in pocket to slide it back.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, I think this is really cool. The camp college that I work for has a banner program as well. And I am just counting, some schools have 7, some have 5, some have 2, some have 3. Fort Hayes has like 20.
48 has about 40, and
Yeah.
it depends on the number of poles in front of the building.
Okay.
That's truly the determinant. We have one school that has one lowly pole.
Yeah.
So we're putting a double banner on that particular location and different banners on the front and the back side. So they do have 4 distinct banners, even though it's only on. So we try to maximize it for each area, but it is solely dependent on the number of poles that are on site.
Yeah, I guess, I don't know if I have much of a question. It is just that the grant is being used to help beautify schools and the neighborhood surrounding it and recognize the impact that, notable alumni and others have had on it. And so I'm just thinking then about if one school has a large investment, just because they have a lot of poles, and another school doesn't have as large of an investment because they just don't have any poles.
Yeah.
Is
So
there
some
ways
of
of
those buildings, we're attaching it to the building, and then we have some things inside of the building. The cost of poles, is quite cost prohibitive. They're about $1,000 a piece. So we just at this time don't have the funds to be able to have that equitably distributed the same amount of poles.
But I do really think it's a great way to get started and really, recognize the contributions of all our great graduates. So, thank you.
Great, so hearing no other questions or comments from the commissioners, I'm gonna start procedurally. We're gonna go through and we're gonna look at each one of these applications separately. So the one that's showing up on the screen now, GC 25009 and 2555 Briggs Road, which is the address of Briggs High School. I'm going to make a motion to approve the following variances. 1, to increase the number of banners from 1 to 3. To increase, number 2, to increase the display time for a banner from 30 days to indefinitely. And 3, to increase the graphic area from 16 feet for banners to 36 square feet. That's the motion I'm making to approve this application.
Okay, and you said that was the 009, right, that we have, okay.
Yes.
I'll second that.
Next, 30 seconds. So I'd like to, Joe, when you're ready, could you take the vote?
Sure. I will start with the chair represent, Commissioner Fagan, how do you vote?
Oh, yes.
Okay, and moving to his left, we'll go to Commissioner Ruth.
Yes.
Commissioner
Yes.
Marcus.
Yes.
Commissioner Kepler. Commissioner Howard.
Yes.
Commissioner White.
Yes.
Commissioner
Yes.
Neal. Commissioner McKee.
Yes.
Commissioner Maddox.
Yes.
Rogers, yes. Commissioner Smith,
Yes.
Commissioner Allen,
Yes.
and Commissioner Clark. Okay, so 0, and none against, none abstain. Result is 14 in favor. Oh, you seconded, but sorry, yes, and Commissioner. Maxim. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Thank you. So then, I'm gonna present the second application, GC 25-016 at 179 South Powell Avenue, location of West High School. I'm gonna make a motion to approve this application with the following variances. The first is to increase the number of banners from 1 to 4. To increase the display time from a banner from 30 days to indefinitely is the second variance. And the third is to increase the graphic area from 16 feet for banners to 40 square feet.
I'll second that motion.
Marcus. Okay, and we'll start again with the chair representative Fagan. How do you vote?
I vote yes.
Okay, and this time we'll go the opposite direction. Commissioner Clark. Commissioner Emmons.
Okay.
Commissioner Smith.
Yes.
Commissioner Montana.
Yes.
Rogers, yes. Commissioner Maddox.
Yes.
Commissioner McKee.
Yes.
Commissioner Neal.
Yes.
Commissioner White.
Yes.
Commissioner Howard.
Yes.
Commissioner Kepler.
Yes.
Commissioner Vargas.
Yes.
And Commissioner Lee.
Yes.
None against, none abstaining. Result is passed by all present.
Great, that concludes the review of the applications that we had tonight. Thank you very much. I want to talk about our next meeting. It's going to be held April 23rd at 6:30 p.m. here at the Hilltop Ranch of the Columbus Public Library. There is a zoning or a demolition permit that has been sent to us for 3660 West Broad Street. I think that building was formerly a Burger King. So we're gonna be looking at that demolition permit at the next zoning committee meeting that's there on the screen. Just to get an opportunity for anybody that would like to come and provide any public comment around that application to do that demolition permit. Also, we have not confirmed yet, an application will be presented, but it's on deck to be presented at the next meeting or the meeting thereafter. It's record Z 25-013. The location is 1288 Georgesville Road. The applicant is Motley 7 Brewing Company. They are asking to rezone the parcel from C2 to CPD, or a commercial plan development, to allow a drive-through eating and drinking establishment. It's a 7 Brew coffee drive-through. So that's the application that we think will be presented at the next zoning committee meeting to be held April 23rd, 6:30 p.m. That's my report.
And then I just will add, keep on your radar, that I did have someone from AEP reach out to me about their service center at 1759 West Mound Street. They are interested in demolishing that building. I sent a follow-up email asking a bunch of questions, because they want to know the process a little more, and what we require. So please keep that on your radar, that there might be a demolition permit from AEP as it relates to 1759 West Mount Street. I think they're in the beginning stages of going through the process of what to do with that person. And then also moving on to the next item under zoning is gonna be zone in senior planner Alex Sauersmith.
You're good.
Hello, is this working? Yes, okay, good. Okay, hello, everyone. Alex Smith with Planning Division, Department of Development, here to present about zone in. I also work with Linkus and various other projects throughout the city. But tonight here about zone in. So is everyone here familiar with what zone in is? Yes, a couple of people not. So zone in is going to be the zoning code update that we're doing throughout the city of Columbus. And the new zoning code is Title 34, the old zoning code is Title 33, if I reference that throughout here, that's what I'm talking about. And so with that, we, some of you know, we updated the zoning code along the corridors last summer. That went through council. We came up with 6 districts to apply to about 140 plus miles of corridors, over 12,000 parcels. It seems like a lot. It was quite a few parcels, but it only represents about 4% of the area of the city. So we still have a solid 95 point some odd percent to go. Since the zoning code was approved last summer by council, we have seen along those corridors 17 eating and drinking establishments that went through, 10 childcare education facilities, 14 auto-oriented uses, so your car dealerships, your mechanics, things of that nature. Residential wise, because it was projected by changing the code along these corridors that could open up the possibility for over 80,000 residential units just on those corridors, just on 4% of the city, the land of the city. But so far, we've seen about 463 units come through for final site compliance. Those range from areas along Old Henderson, Fifth Avenue, Cleveland Avenue, so pretty spread out throughout the city. We also have another 513 units that are going through preliminary site compliance. So they haven't had their site plan approved yet, but they're going through the process. And just kind of reminder about that process, even when you don't have a variance associated or rezoning associated with the property, it still goes through a process where every city department will use the application and the site plan for their own purposes. So each department would use that regardless of if it's a rezoning or not. So that's where we've been. That's what we've done. Here we are now in now April. I was about to say March, but on March 11th, we started a 60-day process for public comment for the 161 corridor. And that's just the eastern section of that from Worthington to Glenwood Woods. We did Glenwood Woods Township, and we did update some of the zoning code along Cleveland Avenue and 161 and the Continent area. If you remember the Continent, we updated some of that zoning code, but we're going through and updating the rest of the zoning code just on the 161 corridor. It is simply a map update. We're not creating a new code. We're not applying any new districts. We're using the same districts that we had created back in the summer as well. So if you're interested in that, if you search for Zone In Columbus, you'll find our website. The URL is a little complicated. And so if you search for that, the very top banner, you'll have a place where you can take a survey, to open up a map, click on a map, provide comment, whether you support what we're doing there, you don't support what we're doing there, you want to see something different, things of that nature. Also, a bevy of information is available on that website. So for more information, please do visit our website. It's ultimately very important. One of the reasons why we didn't approach 161 in that first beginning of the first phase was due to the service roads and kind of the nature of 161 being somewhat similar to a freeway in that area. However, since then, there's been some transportation plans, some transportation construction done, and some additional plans that are being created right now. And I believe CODA is going to be looking at the corridor for future transit, along with ODOT as well as considering future transit along the corridor. So all that combined with an outcry from the community for us to come back and update their zoning code, we are going ahead and doing that. And again, that 60 days will last from into May from that March 11th date. So what are we going to do next? Next, we have that 95 some odd percent of the city that we have to rezone. So next, we're going to focus on economic opportunity and housing opportunity as well, but mainly focused on economic opportunity. In that, we'll be looking at the rest of the parcels that are zoned currently with Title 33 code, commercial. We'll also be looking at heavily at manufacturing zoning parcels. And then as well as some of our office, employment center, as we call them, districts where you have large office complexes as well. So a lot of larger parcels, a lot of it has to do, with, income, generating, businesses, and uses as well. We also will be taking a little bit of a look at, apartment residential zoning, around those districts as well in this phase of the zoning code. However, we are not going to be going into the single family zoned districts throughout the city with this phase. So that'll come in a future phase, which will be our third phase. So again, if you see those kind of institutional, commercial, manufacturing zone parcels, that's what we're going to be looking at primarily, along with some of the AR or apartment residential districts as well throughout the city. So before we do the zoning in those districts, we are going to do some policy work. So you have land use, which is the policy basis on which you establish zoning, zoning being the law that's in force. And so land use we've done traditionally in the past, lots of land use plans. You actually here have the most recent, even though it was 2018, the most recent land use plan that we've done, the Hilltop Land Use Plan for this area. Other areas are not so lucky, like your neighbor Westland, their plan is from 1994, so quite dated. We need to update these things. We also have citywide planning policies, which is part of your updated land use plan that was done in 2018. However, that's not in every area of the city. A lot of areas do have it, but not every area has it. And so with the corridors, when we did the zoning there, we had a pretty strong policy basis from those area plans, from citywide planning policies. Now I move off those corridors, that policy basis gets a lot weaker. And so this spurs us to update our policy as well. So we'll be essentially updating citywide planning policies, or C2P2. However, we're going to be changing the name of that to the Columbus Growth Strategy. So that is going to be our land use process that we'll go through. We'll start that this year. We expect that to begin in June. Where council will kick that off. Through that process, we'll be doing a ton of engagement throughout the rest of 2025. We'll have several workshops. We're gonna have a lot of pop-up events. We'll have surveys as well to kind of kick off each stage of that land use planning. Excuse me. And then at the end of this year, if council were to approve the land use policy that we have come up with, which will entail design guidelines, which you use to review rezonings, variances, things of that nature. You'll also have updates of our guiding principles, which are kind of the overarching principles that we have. And of course, you'll have updates to where you have zoning districts, we have land use categories. So our land use categories are going to be a little more broad, and the zoning districts will be a little more detailed. But the districts, the zoning districts will be based off those land use categories. And so we'll have a couple drafts that'll come out, we'll receive input on that, and those categories will be applied to a map, which will be a citywide land use map, of course, without the single family residential areas at this time. That'll be 2025, then at the end of that, if council would approve it, then we'll start the zoning process. That zoning process would go into 2026. And at the end of that process, then we will start again with land use policy, except for going into the single family residential neighborhoods with the land use policy, and then do the same thing again. We'll do the policy work first, and then we'll have the zoning that will follow that in 2026 through 2027 as well. And the reason why we're doing this, of course, is growth. In 23, 24, Franklin County saw about 17,000 more residents. A lot of those residents are net international, or the majority of those residents, the biggest group that causes that population increase is net international migration. So a lot of people say, well, Intel is getting delayed. Are you still going to be doing the same thing that you were doing? Do you see that growth? Well, Intel plays a very small part in all of this. As you can see throughout your neighborhood, you have a great amount of diversity out here, and a lot of that comes from international migration. Rents are rising, all those things. So we still need to deal with housing. We still need to update the code, update our policy to receive that, so we have a basis to update the code. So with that, if I have time, I can take questions, but that's all I have for you now. We'll be back throughout this year to update you. We'll become a more familiar face. So we just haven't been out here for a while, so I want to make sure we kept in touch. Yes.
Yes. Does the city have a definition of what affordable housing is?
Well, it depends on, how you're looking at that. So if you're looking at our CRA process, Our definition of affordable housing would kind of be at those, depending on the exact area, kind of those, 68%. Sometimes we have some at 80, some at 100 as well of the average media income. So, but of course, affordability really, that's how we define it in our code. As far as if you're trying to get a height bonus along the corridors, you can get a few extra stories out of it. You would have to meet those CRA, community reinvestment, benchmarks essentially. But affordability really is, who is it affordable to? What's affordable to you? What's affordable to somebody else? What's affordable to me? All of those things can be different, right? There's different income levels and affordability at different income levels, I'd say. But if you're looking at how the city defines it as far as how we give out, tax abatements, things of that nature, it would be our CRA policy, which also we are looking to update here in the next year. So keep your eyes peeled for that as well.
Gotcha. And then I would just encourage, thank you, Alex, for being out here. Highly encourage if we're gonna continue to get updates to please push it through zoning so we can have more in-depth conversations. Also too, we can notify the public when you're coming out ahead of time so they can get to you at that smaller meeting level to ask important questions. So again, I appreciate you coming out, giving us an update. I do want to ask one question as it relates to, as we're going through this zoning process. I believe I've heard it before, but just for everybody in the room and at home, this process, you are giving information to City of Columbus, city council members as it relates to, hey, when we're reviewing these areas, this is what we see to be a high impact zone for X, Y, and Z as it relates to, we're rezoning it for this reason. So you should be possibly pushing policies that attract these developments, whether it's residential, office, commercial, manufacturing. Could you just elaborate more as to what how zone in is communicating with our local officials?
So how we communicate with council in this case.
Yeah.
And we all, technically, I work for the city, the people of Columbus, technically the mayor is in charge of making sure I get paid. So also obviously a part of that. But council is the one, so, all of your rezonings, all your variances, all of those things, no matter, what we say about it, no matter what you say about it, it's gonna go depending on BZA, or it may go to development commission, with the council variances rezonings, you're gonna go through council, so they have the final say on all of those things. Same thing with the zoning code, and also when we do the policy work, it's gonna be the same thing. That we would come up, do engagement, go back and forth, come up with a final plan, and then present that to council. And then they would take, in the case of land use, 30 days of public comment, in the case of zoning, 60 days of public comment, and they will hold hearings throughout those 2 periods to take public input. But then they would be the final decision makers on whether to implement, whether it is the land use policy or the code that we suggest, and so that we recommend. So we work quite closely with council throughout this process, especially Council Pro Tem Rob Dorrance and Council President Hardin as well. Those are 2 of the key, though. We make sure that all the council members are informed, of course. Those are 2 of the key council members that really are kind of at the forefront of all of this. And so a lot of our timing, our timeline, how we go through this process, a lot of that is ultimately dictated by council and meeting the needs that they have for that. So our timeline here is going to be a bit more compressed than maybe we would have first envisioned it.
Any other questions from commissioners? Are there any questions from the audience? Moving on. Thanks, Alex, for being out here. Looking forward to seeing more of you. Appreciate it. All right, moving on to community relations.
That is me. So.
I don't know.
Yeah. We met last month on this past Tuesday. I'm playing with the notes right now. Sorry, this is the first time I've had to do this. So we had a meeting of the committee. Our main conversation was talking about social media standards review. So I think we've mentioned this in the past, but we're working on creating a document. It wouldn't go in our bylaws, but it would be in connection with our bylaws. Just like standards of what to share, kind of what to share on social media, best policies. It also has like some additional policies of like email, so using the constant contact, but basically like kind of everything awareness. And having a standards document, so that way when, there's a changing of commissioners, we kind of have the same policies throughout. So we have kind of two documents, one that I prepared and then one that Commissioner Maddox prepared, and so we began reviewing those during our March meeting. And so we're going to continue this conversation during our April meeting. So if you're interested, please attend. It's open to community members. We've also been compiling a list of upcoming community events and meetings. Several of these have already been mentioned, but a couple that I'd like to highlight. One, the State of the City address from Mayor Ginther is happening this month on the 16th at 6 p.m. at Fort Hayes. It will also be available virtually, but if you'd like to attend in person, I believe that there's an RSVP. We also talked about how the Hilltop Arts Collective is working on the mural along the railroad pass at US 40. Work is supposed to begin on the 19th of this month until the 4th of May. And then another event that was not mentioned tonight is the Hilltop YMCA is hosting their Healthy Kids Day on April 26th from 11 to 1, and they are encouraging people to register. So we just kind of compile a list of upcoming meetings so people are aware of what's going on in the Hilltop, and how to be more engaged. So in our next meeting, which is on the 22nd at 7 p.m. at Best Side Design, we'll continue to talk about the social media standards, and also how to promote that community members can be voting members of committees and using it as a pipeline for future commissioners.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Moving on to government and legislation, which is myself. We did also meet right before community relations, and we did discuss more in depth about our initiative to send a commissioner to city council meetings. We worked and drafted more or less like a outline of how we're kind of to kind of tailor our representation of ourselves for speaking in front of city council, making sure that we're covering 4 bulletins every time we're attending, keeping ourselves consistent, and just at the forefront of city council's mind when they're discussing policy changes that affect our community. That's still in development. We're hoping to have that out by like June 1st. And then the next big thing on our committee's agenda is going to be the election for 2025. We're hopeful to have the petitions out next month. We're going to do a final review and post them again June 1st. That's well ahead of our current deadline as it relates to the schedule of our bylaws and when those need to be out. I just feel like the most important part is if we get those out early enough, we can start talking to people, encouraging them to run, communicating with our neighbors and ourselves on what the commission does, and trying to engage with people who would love to help represent our community as an area commissioner. With that, I don't have anything else as it relates to government and legislation. We will be meeting this month, at Design Revive at 6:30, April 22nd. Moving on to human service and education, Joe Archer.
Sure, thank you. We also met in March on the 19th. We were just continuing to work on some projects behind the scenes, so I don't have any major announcements. I do want to thank all the community members who regularly attend those. It's really great to be able to hear from people who are not on commission to help provide guidance and planning. So thank you all for your ongoing participation. To the chair and our website people, and I do need to confirm this with the library, which I'll do tonight. Our next meeting was overlapping with the State of the City. So we have this comes coming up. So we've moved it to Wednesday, April 30th. That was the date that we had availability. Wednesday, April 30th at 6. location will, again, to be determined, but hopefully likely here. Again, the April meeting for Human Services and Education has been moved from the 16th to the 30th to allow for people to be able to attend the state and city. That's it.
Thank you. Moving on to liquor permit, Commissioner Dan Fig.
Thank you. So we did have a brief liquor permit review committee meeting on March 26th, right after the zoning committee meeting right here at the library. There are 4 of us on the committee. And we all were, well, 3 of us were present. And what we've been doing this year is putting together, the Ohio Department of Commerce has a website where you can get information about liquor permits that are pending or that have been canceled or transferred, opened. There's a database that was redesigned at some point, maybe last year, and just kind of learning the database and the best way to kind of mine the information. The committee's been putting together a packet since the beginning of the year of all the liquor permits that are active, and the zip codes 43204, 43228, 43223, and 43123, which are the zip codes that are a part of the greater Hilltop. So we are putting that packet together, and it's on our website at cbus.areacommissions.org. All of the 21 different area commissions are there. You can find Greater Hilltop. And so that packet that we're putting together, we're going to update every month. That's kind of our charter and some of the activities that we're going to be doing. We are going to be working at the next committee meeting on updating a resource page, just to help understand how anybody could look up these permits, information on permits, what you could do if you feel like you would like to object to any permit. Every liquor permit in Franklin County gets renewed every February. And so there's an opportunity to actually bring your voice around if you have any concerns or any information you would like to bring forward to the state and potentially the city around an objection to a permit renewal. What I have learned, and I haven't even shared this with the committee, is I was with the new database, there are pending applications in the Greater Hilltop. There's approximately over 100 in the zip codes. Some of them, there's a room for permits, there's a quota in some instances, and some of them they are newly refreshed. But the way the database used to work, you would just put in a date range and you could see anything that's pending. If you remove the date range now out of the data set, you can see the whole list. So for example, in 43204, there's 35 permits that are pending. We'll review that in the next committee, just to make sure that we're kind of bringing that information forward, putting it in the packet that's going to be made available on the website. So our next meeting is April 23rd, 6:30, immediately following the zoning committee meeting, which will be at 6:30. As soon as that's over, we'll reconvene and we'll meet to have this committee meeting. And members of the committee are myself, Jenny Kepler, Terry Roof, and Dean Smith. Thank you.
Thank you. Moving on to planning and economic development, Commissioner Smith and Ashley.
Thank you, Chair. So we met on March 20th. We had 100% of our 8 members there. Not to brag or anything. And including 2 new community members. We voted on so these are non-commissioners. And if you're a community member, you can actually become a part of a committee. So I highly encourage you to get involved. We voted on Scott Carr of Hilltop Connections and Highland West Civic Association. He runs the Employment Readiness Center of Hilltop Connections, is Vice President of Hilltop Civic Association. And Betty James, who's here with it. Betty, you want to stand up real quick? Give a little wave. Sure. There we go. She's chair of Hilltop Rise CDC and past president of Westgate Neighborhood Association. And then we had some updates on the Sullivan Avenue Police Substation, which thanks Chair White for giving that update. So I don't have to now. And then we discussed Planet Puff a little bit. Rob Dorsum is looking into this business currently. He's with the city attorney's office. And one of our committee members is going to be talking to the business owner of that establishment. But if you hear of any irregularities, about this business, or really any others in the neighborhood, please contact Assistant Attorney, Rob Dorson at rrdorson@columbus.gov. And then, we also discussed, Westgate Park. There's some new playground equipment that was, dismantled over there. That's just temporary. There should be new equipment replacing it soon, along with handball and pickleball courts. So thanks for Rec and Parks for that update. And then we looked over the built environment survey for the capital budget cycle. Thanks to everyone that took that survey. We're still sorting through those results as we await the request for feedback from city council that we do annually. Common themes we saw were a desire for a community center south of Sullivan, more sidewalks, new crosswalks and roadway improvements. Our next meeting will be April 17th at 6 p.m. in the library. We're gonna have guest speaker Cleve Ricksecker. He's vice chair of Hilltop Rise, former executive director of the Discovery and Capital Crossroads Special Improvement Districts, as well as the Short North Business Association. He's going to speak to us about his experiences in making meaningful economic development. He was actually at our December 2020 meeting when Jeff Phillips was chair. Do you remember?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We were in lockdown.
Yeah, it was online on Zoom, I believe, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he should be there at the next meeting. And that'll be on April 17th, 6 p.m. here. That's all I have. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Moving on to Public Safety, Commissioner Neal.
Nothing to report this evening.
Moving on to Rex and Park, which is myself. We will be meeting this month, April 19th, which is Saturday at 9 a.m. We will be meeting at Holton Community Center. We'll be meeting in the parking lot. This is our first park audit that we'll be starting off this year. Like I said, we're gonna be meeting at 9 a.m. We're gonna be doing a park audit, picking up trash, supplies will be provided. And because of this location of Holton Rec Center, we will also be doing Glenview Park as well. So please feel free to come out. Hopefully the weather is nice for us. As of right now, the park audit reviews for 2024 meeting is still TBA due to the Playbook Columbus. Morgan Wade is heavily involved in that, and her daughter's softball is starting to kick back up, so she's not free on the weekends, and the Playbook has been keeping her really busy. So please keep an eye out for that meeting. We're going to be shooting for May to do a park audit review with the city of Columbus. Again, this is going to be covering all of the 2024 park audits, all of the issues that we've identified, all the improvements that are needed to the parks that we went to. And we'll have city officials come in and speak to those audits, as well as talk about any other improvements that are going to be happening within the community as it relates to all of our parks. With that, I have nothing else. We're moving on to, we have no unfinished business. And then tonight we do have new business as it relates to committee meeting locations as brought up by Commissioner Roof. And at this point, we'll turn it over to Commissioner Roof to speak about this motion that he would like to bring to the commission.
This one? Thank you. So I would like to bring forward a motion to move all meetings from to the library. Just because for safety reasons, we have secure parking lots, we have lighting, we have security cameras, we also have an on-site security guard. At these off-site meetings, we have none of that. Safety should be our first concern among everybody, the community, as well as the commissioners. And it didn't happen. Where the meeting was held at was not secure. There was not enough parking. There was no security. And I spoke to a couple of the area businesses around there. And even though Third Way Cafe, security camera didn't catch much. They did catch something, but they wouldn't let me look at it. I talked to the Shedinger Funeral Home, and they said it's not unusual for people coming out of a showing to come out to have 3 and 4 cars missing out of that parking lot. So for me, I feel more secure here at the library, where we've got lighting, we've got security, we have cameras, and we have an on-site security guard. I also feel that it would be consistent to have all the meetings here instead of having a couple at a different location and everybody else here. So that's my motion. It's more about safety.
Okay, and then, if I may, I just wanna just do a little clarification. So the motion, has been presented by Commissioner Roof is that all committees need to be going forward, meeting solely at the library due to safety concerns. Is that correct? I wanna.
It doesn't necessarily have to be the library, but it needs to be a more secure location with security, lighting, cameras. So a secure location.
Okay, and then. Do you by chance know of any other places in the Hilltop that meet those specifications other than the library?
We have the Y. We have the church. I think it's called Glenwood. What is it called? In Valley View?
Across
We have, yes,
right next to
yes,
the line.
yes. So we have other options within our community. Also, by us having that meeting, I can't even think of the name of the place. Are you promoting that business? If another business was to come to you and say, hey, you're always having this meeting there. Can you have your meeting at our location now?
Yeah, just to circle back to the motion. So the motion is to have all committees meeting at a safe, well-lit, secured location. Not necessarily the library.
Yeah.
But under those 3 parameters. And then a point of clarification, I do want to add that, as it relates to this motion, there was an incident involving Commissioner Roof. Specifically, when we were meeting during a community relation and government, legislation committee meeting at, Best Design. Sorry, it's been. Best Side, off of West Broad. His vehicle was broken into and damaged, and the motion is brought up to try to circumvent some of any future incidents that are coming up. But again, to make a point of clarification, when in the past, committee meetings have been held at Josie's, Third Way, and as it relates to your comment about promoting those businesses, Best Design does provide the space to the commission for free. So we do feel like in honor of them giving us the space for free and the constant availability for us to have meetings there, we do only promote the address and the business name, as it relates to promoting them. So we're not out here spending advertisements for them. We're not saying, hey, you should go get these services done with them. It's a way to kind of bring people out of the orbit of just the library, into the community of local businesses that are supporting us through no cost to us. So again, circle back to the motion. The motion is to relocate committee meetings to a secure, well-lit, secured facility. Is there a second to the motion?
That would eliminate your parks.
Yeah, I know this.
How about maybe Terry would be open to changing the motion to where there's not so many restrictions to it just being a public place.
Yeah.
Rather than private businesses.
So again, as it relates to, we can have a discussion about it, but as it relates to the motion itself, that you need to have a second to the motion as it's laid out to the specifics of Terry's motion being, it needs to be a well-lit, secured, and like security on staff, facility.
Isn't this the time to discuss it?
Again, I think we'd have to have a motion or second
have a
on the
second.
motion, and then it can be open up, yes.
Okay.
So anybody can second it.
I'll second it.
All right, if the motion has been seconded, we're gonna move into the discussion portion of this. Recognize Commissioner Maddox.
So I think the motion in and of itself kind of is a backhand to the entirety of the hilltop to claim that some areas are and are not safe or ideal for us to go to. I'm not gonna sit here and pontificate about vehicles and that kind of stuff. I drive a vehicle. I will park that vehicle on the hilltop. And if something happens to it, I didn't take precautions. It is what it is. It happens. It happens up in Bexley. Cars get stolen. There are many car events that I don't attend because I know how people steal vehicles, how easy it is. And so I just kind of protect myself that way. But my vehicle will go to any meeting that you guys would like to attend, be it to any business on the hilltop, anything of that nature. If somebody would like to steal it, they will get quite a bit of money off of that, but it is what it is. I don't know that saying we're only going to go to the library and then somebody's vehicle gets stolen out of the library's parking lot or damaged there. Now what do we do? Now we have no bastion of safety in anywhere in the hilltop. If there are concerns, I think we need to be working with our public safety committee, with our local hilltop area liaison for law enforcement to say, hey, look, we want to be able to meet in a place and not have our cars broken into. What do we need to do? I don't know that there's any safe place here. The whole reason we can't go to Briggs anymore, Baptist Church, is because they couldn't afford their insurance anymore because their well-lit parking lot that had law enforcement in it all the time had cars regularly stolen out of there. So I think if we try and narrow down, these places are safe and these places are not safe, what does that say to those residents? I don't like it.
It means it's not safe.
Okay, I just wanna respect every commissioner's time. Thank you, Mr. Maddox. I'm gonna move on to commissioners who have questions as it relates to the motion. Dan, you had your hand up.
Well, I just want to take inventory. So we have 9 committees. 7 of them routinely meet here at the library. 2 do not. They meet at Best Side Design, and occasionally the Parks and Rec Committee will meet here and then go do park audits. So I just don't know if everybody, I'm just checking it for myself, just kind of making sure that I understand what current state is, right? It
Yes, that is correct.
was more of a comment than a question.
Well, except Human Services and Education met at West last year.
Yeah, we sometimes meet elsewhere.
Okay, that's all.
It's a high school.
You met at West High School?
Yeah, we met at West in their community room and I'd like to do that again. And that is in the evening. They have cameras, they have lighted parking lot, but I don't think they have a security guard on them at that time. But they're very generous in opening their space to us so that we can get into the school and see it. And I'd like to be able to go to the Early Learning Center. We've talked about it, the youth garden, there are just other places. You know, that occasionally come up where we may want to meet or need to, because also the library is scheduled. It's hard to get time and space here. Okay, I just need to make sure I get it.
Any other committee chairs as a Commissioner Smith?
Oh, you're looking for comments, right? Jay?
Yes,
Okay.
comments as
Yeah.
it relates specifically committee chairs, as it relates to this motion.
Yeah, I just wanted to thank you, Commissioner Root, for bringing this up and bringing your shared experience up. And I want to be very respectful of the incident that occurred. But personally, I think that this should be something that committee chairs should be mindful of. And not have I think the best way to go about this issue, because it is for each committee chair to just kind of take inventory of where we meet at and do our best to make sure it's in a location where an incident like this is less likely to occur. But I think that this sort of motion would restrict the way that we operate. So I'm gonna vote no. Thank you.
I'm gonna, as a committee chair for Rexon Park, I do strongly believe that this will hinder our ability to do park audits. Granted, we do them during the day, the morning, but needless to say that there's never any security staff in the parks. other than some of the security cameras in the parking lots, but are active in all of the parks. Again, in the past, I've been a commissioner since 2019. As a lot of other people have mentioned, we've met at other locations. And this is the first time that I've ever heard of. I do want to be sympathetic to Commissioner Ruth's experience. It's not one to be pleasant to go through. I had the same thing happen at my own home. So it's horrific, and we can do better at mitigating some of this by educating the community and being more forward about where we are meeting, where it is appropriate to be parking, some of the concerns that may come up. I do want to mention that I feel like this is something that needs to be directed to the 3 committees that don't meet at the library, instead of forcing all of the committees to say, hey, this is a new rule that you need to be following. And I understand that that's directly how this is how it's playing out. But that is my comment on this. And again, I want to get Carla and then Skepler. So Carla, your comments.
I just have a comment, is that I recognize that crime can happen anywhere in the world. We all should know that. But I do think that for our committees, they should be public. They should be in a public place, whether it be here at the library, Glenwood Park, the church, that we have a lot of different spaces that we can use, Ohio Farms. And I feel like if we're going to the same business consistently, what if another business opens up that's the same type of business down the road? Are they gonna want to come into that competitor's business and have community meetings if they want to engage with the community? What if a community member has a lawsuit? It's nothing against that business. I don't know those people at all. But there's a lot of questions about us choosing one particular business to hold all these meetings and expect all the neighbors and community to come to. It's not a public place. It's a private business. And so to me, it's not anything to do with, yes, my car could get gone. It could be gone right now from the parking lot. And I wouldn't have any idea. It could be gone from my house. So the safety issue, we all have to be aware of our safety just anywhere in the city and the state. But I think that for sunshine laws and just that, we should be we're inviting the public in, and we need to invite them into a place where there shouldn't be any kind of issue or potential conflict. You don't have that at the library or the park.
Commissioner Kepler.
So, I wanted just a couple things. One of them, the whole reason why the meetings started, we had a few meetings at Best Side Design, or back then it was a design refinery, was because it was COVID, the library was closed, it was under construction. And honestly, we have a shortage of communal meeting spaces in the Hilltop, which really sucks, because you want open, secure spots, but when your library is shut down, or whatever contingency, like hopefully down the line, the new precinct down here, the substation, that is supposed to have some community meeting space too. So there are reasons why these alternate spaces have been used. And actually like, as was mentioned before, it was very generous of Best Side to offer that space in that time. There was a time when we were using Briggs Road Baptist Church, if you recall, before they moved, which was great, but they're closed now. So sometimes you just end up in a spot and it sucks. Like, I don't want to make you feel like I'm being dismissive of your concerns in any way. Like, I lived right by Best Side. I had my apartment broken into, totally relate. In the immediate term, because I'm not sure that we're gonna come up with an agreement on this tonight. In the immediate term, because I wouldn't want to park over there either if I had my stuff broken into. Is there a way that your committee can go back and review availability for your committee members to maybe find an alternate meeting time and place or whatever, so that it's amicable for everyone and you're not alienated from participating? Because the thing I'm concerned about, like,
At this point, I won't be going back.
well, and that's the thing, like, I don't.
I will not be going back to that location.
Like for in the daytime?
Even in the daytime, I will not go back to that location. I ended up having to go buy a new car. They did that much damage.
I'm sorry.
So I know, a lot of you probably don't care,
Of
but
course we
I'm
care.
on a fixed
We
income.
absolutely care.
I'm on a fixed income, so when I had to go buy a new car,
Sure,
that really hurt me
yeah.
financially. Just that break-in. It was a break-in and he tried to steal my car. They originally gave me a quote of $534 to repair it, but once they got in there, there was a ton more damage inside that car. So
That's all.
it wasn't worth fixing it. So I got bupkis for it, but I had to go buy a new car.
That's a shame.
So if any of you all would like to go buy a new car and got the money for it, then let's continue to meet there. But if
Okay,
you want to feel safe,
I'm just gonna bring
secure,
this
you need
back
to
to this.
have, and also, I would also like to state, Third Way, it took me 4 times going in to visit them and talking with them to even get them to tell me, yeah, we looked at the camera. I said, well, can I view it? No, we can't let you view it.
Okay, well, I'm just gonna end the discussion on this at this point, and we're gonna move forward with the motion. As it relates to this. So again. Would you withdraw your motion if I encourage the 2 committees that you are having a specific issue with to revisit their committee location? Specifically ask them to take into account at their next meeting and weigh in on whether or not they should move.
No.
Because, okay, well then we're gonna move forward with the motion. Josh, I do see your hand, but at this time I'm gonna end the discussion and we're gonna move into the vote. So the motion is to move committee locations to a secure location that has secure lighting, that is safe, and has police or security present. The motion has been seconded. We're gonna move on to a roll call vote. So Joe, if you could please start that. Yes. Sorry.
Great, thank you. All right, Commissioner Root, we'll start with you. How do you vote?
Yes.
Okay, we'll move to your left, Commissioner Barnes.
No.
Commissioner Kepler,
Abstain, because I'm not sure what the right answer is here.
okay. Commissioner Howard,
No.
Chair White,
No.
Commissioner Neal,
Abstain.
Commissioner Key.
Be the motion, I would have supported that, but just the way it's designed right now, I just can't support it. I'd love to continue the discussion. I think that there's merit in it.
Okay, we are back. Thank you. Just a little bit more here. I have Okay, so in favor, thank you, well, just that, reconnected there. Commissioners Ruth and Carr. Voting against were Commissioners Marcus Howard, White, Maddox, Hardrow, Montana, Smith, Fagan, that's 8. And we had 4 abstentions from Commissioners Kepler, Neal, McKee, and Amin, 4. Vote is 2-8-4. Majority voting against. Motion.
So with that, the motion does not pass. Yeah, this Commissioner Roof empathetic about your situation and what you had to go through. Don't wish that on anybody. As the chair, I will, and the committee chair of one of the meetings that's you're having issues with, we will come to a resolution to ensure that you're still able to attend meetings.
I will not be at that meeting, any of those meetings.
Sir, I heard your comment. I understand it. I heard it.
Yep,
I'm
fine.
telling you right now, we're gonna come to a solution.
Okay.
So whether that's moving the committee location to somewhere where you will attend, so be it. But until we identify and address every commissioner's concern at the committee level, we are still gonna hold the committee meetings at the same location until further notice. So with that, there are no other items on the agenda.
I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Are you Deborah?
Yes.
Okay, so going back to presentations, Deborah is here from the Mid Ohio Food Collective.
I had great grandma duty, I'm so sorry.
You're good.
Yeah, you think once your kids get grown and then your grandkids get grown and grandkids can drive themselves or something, I don't know. She said she couldn't drive, she's only 11, so I'm real Huh? I'm a great grandma. Yeah, great grandma. Hi, everybody. I'm so sorry. Thank you. I apologize for my tardiness. I'm not gonna use the Mike Bellish recording and you need a record of it. Okay. So my name is Deborah Diggs. I'm the amazing Deborah Diggs. I'll tell y'all right now. I know y'all tired, ready to go home. Me too. I work at Mid Ohio Food Collective. And to tell you the truth, I brought you some information and I don't like to leave things for the staff to have to clean up behind me, because my mama told me, she said, don't be leaving no mess for nobody else. So the last time I think I came and presented these, you guys just didn't have a brand new library, so another slide, everything. So I just want to tell you a couple things, and you in the audience, if you like to. I don't know how people feed their kids. I really don't. Like I said, I'm a great grandma, I don't know how they feed their kids. If you're a Flintstone fan and you've seen where Fred puts Dino outside and then Dino puts him out, that's what would happen in my house if I had to feed somebody. I actually went to the grocery store yesterday and it was $184. And I said, good Lord, I used to pay rent for that. I don't know how people are doing it. So at Mid Ohio Food Collective, we're staying the course. But of course, we can't stay the course because we can't spend no more than what we got. We can't give you nothing that we don't have. But we do want you to know about a thing called Fresh Track. Fresh Track is an app. You'll have the card, you scan it with your phone, or there's a telephone number on there, a website. And what you do is you put your zip code on in that app. And that app will tell you anything from 3 to 50 miles. Please don't drive 50 miles and get anything if it ain't about get some money. Get some food, and it will tell you, if you put it in today, it will tell you for the rest of the month, for every day. Tell you the date, location, time, and the telephone number with the address of your nearest food pantry, produce market, hot meals, packaged meals, or wherever to get food from. Okay? At this point in time, there's no checklist like, can I see your paycheck stub? So that we can make sure that you are qualified for this. At this point in time, we're just trying to make sure you eat and that you feed your kids, your family, and your loved ones. The other thing is something we do called SNAP. SNAP is Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program. And that's where it used to be called food stamps. And we are helping people to sign up. We've always done it. We have a federal grant. You all know what's happening with our federal grants, right? But we still are pushing forward and helping you to sign up for SNAP. We will help you to do the application, submit the verifications, and complete your interviews to get food supplemental to feed your family. And the EBT cards, people have heard all about the EBT cards and how people have money stolen off their cards. I can't even imagine, like, Mr. Jerry, Mr. Terry, I'm so sorry about what happened to you, man.
That's right.
We all want fixed income. We don't have food collective, give me the same amount every freaking Friday. What the heck? I've been out since like 8 o'clock tonight. I started this morning at 8. They gonna give me the same amount next Friday.
ain't fair. But life ain't fair, but something like that, that's terrible. That's terrible. And we just have to be, I don't know, we ain't even gonna go into that. Ain't why I came to talk there. The other thing you have is you need health insurance. I'm the first licensed healthcare navigator for Middle Ohio Food Collector. What does that mean? That means they made me take a test. I said, y'all gonna send an old black lady in to do the test first. All these young folks doing the darn team, and y'all gonna send me in there to do the test. I'm sitting in the house, it got dark. I'm like, good Lord, I'm went blind. Then I realized I've been sitting at the computer all day, taking a test to learn how to do health navigation. Well, what that means is, you call me on this number, this is my cell number. I will schedule a time, we'll meet with you or do it over the phone. I tell you, get in, put your seatbelt on, because I know where we're going, whether it's SNAP, Medicaid, or Marketplace. And I will take you there, but you have to trust me. But if you take your seatbelt off and get out the car, I ain't definitely around the block. It ain't none of that, honey. See you later. I'm gone. But I will help you apply, submit your verifications, appeal it, that's it, folks. Do whatever you got to do if you qualify to get you a justifiable decision to get you health care. If you don't qualify, we'll find a federally qualified health center. If you need prescription assistance, I just had a guy call me today. Jesus, Lord. Man, 87 years old, to be at 47 years in prison. He's coming home. He's coming home. He said, my mom and my aunt told me to call you because you would be the person that he would ride with. And I said, I'm gonna be his ride or die. We're gonna get him some Social Security, give him some food stamps, and we're gonna give him some medical coverage. 40 years of your life. Well, I can't even imagine. That's worse than being married. I shouldn't say that out loud. Okay, I'm single, so yeah. I had a husband, God had a sense of humor, he freed him. And I let him go and he had to go. But Middle Ohio Food Collective is staying the course. Y'all have to give some laughs, but I don't know about y'all. This time of night, I've got really goofy doink. But everybody, thank you for being commissioners. Thank you for what you do. I have been a commissioner before. The only reason I did charity for a year because Rick, with 3S, remember Rick Pfeiffer? Said, Mama Dave, you can't start 2 area commissions on the south side of the city of Columbus and not chair one of them. I said, yes, I can. I started it because Nationwide Children's Hospital has been a new hospital. And that zoning thing do you not use, don't it? If you don't have something in place, they will run all over you. And you have to get something out of it. And we got a nice hospital to treat children to make sure they're healthy and strong. The other thing I want you to know the Middle Ohio Food Collective is doing is we have started a food collectors customer advisory council. Like you really want to volunteer to do something else, right? But if you're interested, if you know anybody, to get us to the chairs, because I don't want to give all y'all everything, but it's so good to see you. And you know, when they told me James White, there's a guy, his name is Keith knows his dogs. JAW. He does a lot of things around the city. If you have any questions, any concerns, any issues, don't hesitate to reach out to me. If you call me on that mobile number, 824-430. The only way I'll talk to you after 4:30 is I know that you're working. There's a gentleman down in Union County. Never met the guy, but we talk on Fridays at 6 o'clock when he gets off of work. Because he's helping his friend who lives here who's disabled. And that's when he can talk to me. So we good. Friday, 6 o'clock. Oh, wait a minute, dude, let me get my coffee. Let's sit and talk. Figure out what we need to do. I'm gonna ask y'all, do you have any questions? I know y'all ready to go home. We have my cell number. You can text me questions. I will answer them in the morning. If you text me tonight. If not, then God bless you. Stay safe and be diligent in all that we do. And appreciate you allowing me to have some time. Yes, ma'am.
First of all, thank you so much for bringing such great energy to a dragging meeting. Second of all, do you have any more of these? Because
Yes, ma'am, I do.
I can take them to my apartment building.
Yes, ma'am, I do. Everybody to tell you, I have like the Energizer Bunny energy, but I have a TBI, I got hit by a car. And so as the evening goes, I do like this. So one thing you don't want to do is engage with me after the coffee in the morning. I only do 1 cup, but it's not good. I'm just like, woo, Jesus. So yes, I love y'all, appreciate y'all, and I'm gonna let Mr. White adjourn the meeting, then I'm gonna give Ms. Jenny what she needs.
I just want to second what Jenny said. Thank you, Miss Amazing Diggs, for calling out. Thank you so much for this information and lifting all of our spirits before we get out of here. And if there is nothing else.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh.
Community garden. When you get the bag, I told y'all. So blessing boxes. I don't know if you guys have any blessing boxes on the west side. Please, if you go to the store, got a little extra. I said, I gotta check the can bottom, the death cell date, and donate whatever to what I can to the blessing boxes. If you have a community garden, encourage your neighbors, your friends, people you know, people you don't know, people you like, people you don't like, to go volunteer in the community gardens. I can't grow anything, but I can darn sure put some weeds after they identify them. So that's another way to feed families and have people in the community get engaged. And that's a way to get yourselves engaged with them. Get involved in the community gardens, and then they can have fresh produce at their own leisure. And thank you, that is it.
With that, I'm gonna adjourn the meeting. Thank you, everybody, for being here.
You need a second.
Well, I haven't heard anybody not second it. Second by Ashley Montana, where this meeting of the Greater Hilltop Area Commission is adjourned.